others, she convinced the establishment of the day to recognize and lighten the burdens of unfairness, injustice, and inequality, primarily, but by no means exclusively, on women. By working to improve the lives of women, she chose to be a catalyst for the betterment of all, and she demonstrated what one person can do, even seemingly against all odds. It is perhaps this unique quality that made others respond to Linda in the way they did. Her influential columns in Chatelaine were written from a wish to share her knowledge and perspective. She could imagine herself in the place of the reader who needed to understand the legal realities. Her letters to the editor, written to influence policymakers and public opinion, not only became treasures for the women's movement, but also examples of the competence and thrust that made them publishable and quotable. Shining through the text like a light behind illuminated pages is Linda's enduring love for Canada and her profound concern with our country's standards of justice and fairness. We owe her a debt of gratitude, not only for the contributions she has made to the well-being of Canadians, women and men alike, but also for the diligent record-keeping that allows all of us to now share some of her views and accomplishments. The clarity of the record, and through it, its lucid authenticity, is an important aspect of this book. Today, in a public environment of modulated and mediated communications, it is important to emphasize that this book is, in the most rigorous sense of the term, an eyewitness statement. Linda was directly involved in all the issues about which she writes, and she takes us behind the scenes in the struggle for change. The praxis of bearing witness is the underlying theme, the leitmotif of the book. For Linda, being an eyewitness means being a participant in word and deed. The book concludes with an important set of reflections. Under the banner, "Over to You," Linda summarizes her legacy, her advice, and the core of her insights. By being resolutely centered in a viable Canadian nationalism, rooted in the history and practices of our country without being intentionally discriminatory or judgmental, the historical roots of Canadian institutions and attitudes are clearly part and parcel of what Linda hands on to the next generation of feminists. Building on her own unrepentant identification as a feminist, Linda reaffirms her belief in the strength of the community of women, a community that has room for individual forward-looking initiatives while simultaneously maintaining the fundamental connectedness and sisterhood among women. Notwithstanding change and adaptation, the personal remains political, and the political demands personal commitment and active intervention. Linda's words are a reminder of this fact and an inspiration for all women. Ursula M. Franklin, CC, FRSC. Ursula M. Franklin, Companion of the Order of Canada, member of the Royal Society of Canada, University Professor Emerita at the University of Toronto, long-time active Canadian citizen and feminist, and board member of Voice of Women for Peace. Introduction. The Way It Was. I was born into a world where women were still, as they had been through much of human history, defined by their role in the family, as daughter, sister, wife, mother. Find a man, fit into his life, and get your status, satisfaction, and financial support by caring for husband and family. That's what was instilled into us. But the financial security promised to a woman was difficult to enforce, and if a woman